Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. It's been like, what, 2-3 weeks or so since I uploaded. I got sick and was out of commission for a little bit. So if my voice sounds weird or you notice me clearing my throat often throughout this video, that is why. Today's video is actually a video that I've been wanting to film for several months now. And if you've been here on my channel for a while, you've most likely heard me talk about these products off and on throughout the videos, but I wanted to do a full-on dedicated video just because I love this brand and these products so much. When I first started out my YouTube channel, I actually did a video using all of these products, but that's been almost 2 years ago, so I felt like we really needed an updated one. And specifically, the brand and products that I am going to be discussing today is going to be Elcie Cosmetics. Like I said, I have mentioned Elcie Cosmetics throughout my videos pretty often. You might recognize this foundation from my top foundations video, also the foundation I used on my wedding, and some of the other products that we're going to talk about today. I am going to be doing a dedicated kind of full face or almost full face of Elcie Cosmetics and talk through the products that I have. I don't have every single thing from Elcie Cosmetics. I have just about enough to do a full face. There's a couple products that we'll have to substitute. But I wanted to talk you guys through the products I have, which are my favorites, hence why they're in my collection, and in hopes of sharing this brand and these amazing products with all of you guys. I don't feel like Elcie Cosmetics is talked about a lot on the YouTube beauty space, and I really don't know why that is because their products are so high quality. So Elcie Cosmetics is based out of Southern California. I live in Northern California, so that works out really well for me. And the owner and the founder is actually a makeup artist, and she developed these products with that kind of makeup artist mentality in mind. And they have pretty much a full range of products. They have primer, they have complexion, they have blush, bronzers, lip, mascara, tools like brushes and sponges and all that. And I believe they're coming out with a skincare line. It's been held up due to COVID, but it is in the works. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is more of like skin prep complexion, and this is the Elcie Glow Enhancer Dry Face Oil. It's this guy right here. Unfortunately, this guy I think is sold out on their website. Elcie Cosmetics is also available at Ulta, or at least they were. I should have double checked before I sat down to film this, but I'm pretty sure they are. This guy is sold out currently, but I still wanted to talk about it. It is a facial oil. It is a dry facial oil, so that's something really important to keep in mind. It does have some specks of shimmer, I guess you would say, hence the glow enhancing, but I don't feel like that is really prevalent on your face when you use it. My skin type is a combo to oily skin type, and I don't find this oil accentuates that oiliness at all, nor do I feel like it breaks up my makeup regardless of what foundation that I'm using. I'll show you guys here on the back of my hand. And you can see those shimmers are so small. It just gives you the most beautiful glow on there. And like I said, you don't look like a sparkly mess if you put this underneath your foundation. Also, you can use this to moisturize your cuticles. You can use this on your hair, like your ends if they're feeling dry. So this is a great product to have in your makeup kit if you are a makeup artist, especially a bridal makeup artist, if you need to hydrate the hands or anything like that. And my brain seemed to not be working when I was preparing for this videos because I have already applied my primer. So typically you want to apply something like a facial oil or a beauty oil before you do your primer. So we're not going to apply this today, but you can see what that looks like on my hand. This has had about 15 minutes or so to settle on my hand. You can see the glow that it gives. I mean, this is great to use all over your body, your shoulders, if you're wearing kind of like an off the shoulder or top similar to what I'm wearing. Elcie also does have a primer, which I have not had the opportunity to try just yet. It is on my list of things to try out and order on the next time I purchase. So let's move on to probably my favorite item out of all of the Elcie products. And I feel like a broken record talking about this, but it is the foundation, the Elcie Micro Sleek Foundation. I have mine in the shade Sand. And if I remember correctly, the shades, when she was formulating these shades, she focused more on undertones so that one shade can work for multiple complexions. And that way she didn't need to have an extensive line of the foundation colors. Sand for me is actually my, I guess, summer shade, you would say. I probably could also use Vanilla, which is one shade lighter from this one. However, I like to go for my summer shade year around, and if during the winter time, like right now when I'm pretty light compared to my summer shade, I usually mix it with a little bit of a lighter foundation to kind of get my winter shade. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this guy. I will preface this by saying mine is pretty beat up, so do not judge me. I took this with me on a trip like 6 months ago, and it kind of exploded. And I don't know why, because usually when I travel, I never put my makeup in my checked bag. It always goes in my carry-on or in my hand. So I don't know what happened, but this is what mine looks like. Pretty beat up. I do have a backup, so let me show you guys that bottle so you can see how it looks when it's not all beat up. So this is my brand new bottle, same shade in Sand, and this is what it looks like on the inside. You've got a pump. It is a plastic pump in a frosted glass bottle. You do want to make sure you give this a good shake before you apply it, just in case it has settled. And this guy, going back to my beat up one, I think I'm almost out of it actually. One of the things that I do like about it is you can unscrew this top and pour it out if you're using it, if you want to use it that way, and that way you can get all of the product, get really your money's worth out of this product. Now I feel really self-conscious showing you guys my beat up bottle of foundation, but hey, I'm not wasting any foundation, okay? So what I usually do is I'll go about a pump and to a pump and a half, and you can see mine is on its last leg. That is what the shade looks like. It is on the more liquid side, I would say. And then I like to start towards the center of my face and work my way out. So you can see the shade. It is not obviously a perfect match for me. Like I said, it is my summer shade, but this is the one that I really enjoy. And as a primer, I forgot to mention, since I don't have the Elcie primer, I am using my Urban Decay All Nighter primer, which again, I am almost out of. So once you've had that, once I've applied that, I usually use my foundation with a brush, or I apply it with a brush, and I'm using my Anissa Pinnacle foundation brush, one of my favorites, and I just do a light layer to start off, and I pat that in. Lilith, from what I've noticed, does use it with a sponge, so you can definitely do that if that is your preference. Elcie does have a beauty sponge, another one of my favorites, the Velvet Sponge. I've talked about that one ad nauseum if you've been here for a minute on my channel. I probably should take these earrings off while I'm applying my foundation. So let's show you guys just a light layer. Again, I did maybe about a pump. It seemed like a pump and a half, but it didn't come out a full pump because my bottle's on its last leg. But this is a light layer, and you can see it's giving me like light to medium coverage. It looks pretty much like skin, just more evened out. It is lightweight. I don't feel this on my face. It's not clinging anywhere, and the shade, for being my summer shade, you can see it doesn't look that dark, so that's a major plus. Like I said, I do have combo to oily skin. I am acne prone. I have acne scars, dark under eye circles, so my complexion is by no means perfect. I really love finding foundations, especially that I can use and not accentuate all of, you know, my acne scars, my texture, and all of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a bit more just to finish off the face. Obviously, I didn't put anything on my forehead, so even there you can see the comparison of how it looks. It doesn't look like I'm wearing makeup. It's not cakey. And I did do just my normal skincare. Okay, so I went ahead and added just a little bit more. I'm not going for a full coverage. I'm going for a more of a medium coverage, but this is a foundation that you could definitely build up. I went ahead and added at least a half pump, if not a little bit more on top of what I had, and you can see it's layered beautifully. It gives you a, I would say, a semi-matte, more like velvet natural finish. So I don't usually enjoy really matte foundations. I find them to look very drying despite having combo to oily skin. And this guy right here is a happy medium in between. I feel like it's just matte enough, but also looks like real skin. So I went ahead and just added a little bit of cream contour. Elcie doesn't have any cream contour like bronzer products. I just use the Danessa Myricks, what is this? The bronzer balm, and this is the shade medium 1. And that's kind of the order in which I apply my makeup. I do my foundation first, my cream contour, cream bronzer before I go in with my concealer. So the next product from Elcie that we're going to be trying on together is their Complete Remedy Silque Concealer, and I have the shade Light Medium, which is a tad too light for me. I think the shade Medium will actually work better. One of the things to know about this concealer is they all have a peachy, a little more of a peachy undertone, even if it's warm or cool. It has the peachy undertone to help correct under eye circles. You do want to make sure you give this a good shake. Another thing to point out is it has this metal applicator here, which is very cooling on the eyes. And these products actually, so the foundation, the concealer, these have been out for a while. I know another popular product or concealer that has this kind of metal tip is the Huda Beauty concealer. And this guy came out way before the Huda concealer. So just FYI, most of these products aren't like new releases. They are products that have been in the Elcie line for many years. And a little bit goes a long way with this guy. I may need to mix in another concealer that's a bit darker, just because this one is a little too light, but here we go. So you can use the metal applicator to spread it. So yeah, a little too light, I think, but that's okay. Just to get a better color match, I'm gonna go in with my Beauty Creations concealer in the shade C12 and just add a little bit so it doesn't look too light. And I'm just adding a little bit because I really want you guys to see the blend of the Elcie concealer, but I also want to be able to leave the house with this makeup look on. So I'm going to go in with my Anissa angled concealer brush. Again, you can blend this out with the sponge if you would like. Here we go. This shade actually, if you are more of like my skin tone, is actually a great shade if you really enjoy that bright under eye. I mean, take a look at that. And if you've seen my other videos, you'll notice that I don't usually do a super bright under eye. I prefer to have it be as close to my foundation or my base shade as possible. But everybody's preference is different. So here we go. The first eye, you can see that that's really gorgeous, blended super easy, covered up that darkness under my eyes, and I am gonna go ahead and blend out the other side. I like to make sure I hit this inner portion right here. At least on me, I tend to get quite a bit of darkness in there. So when I hit it with my concealer, it makes my eyeshadow look better, not as dark. Here we go. With this concealer, it's meant to be creaseless. You guys know how I feel about that term being used with concealers, depending on how your under eyes are or just your skin type. I feel like there is no concealer that is actually creaseless. It just depends on how you set it, how at the fine lines. So I do have fine lines under my eyes, and I will say 10 out of 10 concealers will crease for me. My kind of benchmark is which ones crease less. And I will say that Elcie concealer does crease less for me. It's up there with the Beauty Creations concealer that I really love, with the e.l.f. Hydra Camo concealer that I love. the Tarte Shape Tape, just not as drying as Tarte Shape Tape, because I have fine lines. Now, if you don't have fine lines under your eyes, this may not crease at all on you. And if that's the case, well, lucky you. But for those of us that do have crinkles and wrinkles under our eyes, just keep that in mind. So this is the concealer without it being set. Like I said, the color is a smidge lighter than my preference. It does give me that bright highlighted under eye. So if that's your preference and you're similar to my skin tone, the light medium will probably work for you. I'm most likely gonna pick up the medium the next time I put an order, just to have in my kit and my collection, and also going into summer, I think that shade will work better. I am going to go ahead and add just a little bit more in this area. It's where my dark under eye peeks through for me. And as you would expect from a concealer and a foundation in the same makeup line, they work together beautifully. There's no separation. They melt into each other exactly how you would want it to. You can't see any differentiation between where the foundation stops and the concealer starts. All right. The next product I mentioned earlier, and this is the Velvet Sponge. This is probably, out of all the Elcie products, this is definitely my top 3. The foundation and this guy is in my top 3. These kind of go hand in hand for the #1 position, but I really love this sponge. It is on the pricier end in terms of cost. I believe it's like $19, somewhere around there. So that's a factor. Just keep that in mind. What I love about this is the very pointed tip. That can help me get right in that nook and cranny. I did a ranking my beauty sponge videos a couple months back where I talked about this in length. So if you're interested in knowing more, go check out that video. So we are going to set our under eyes with this. Elcie does have a loose setting powder. At the time that I was going to place my order, the shade that I wanted to pick up was out of stock, so I don't have it. But we are going to use just my handy dandy Laura Mercier translucent powder. I have already dampened the sponge. That's how I like to use my beauty sponges. So what I do is I dipped into the powder and I pressed it into the sponge on the back of my hand, and we're just gonna go in and set this concealer. Make sure you tap out any creasing before you go in and set it, because we definitely don't want to set creasing. We've gone ahead and set the under eyes, and to set the rest of my face, this is another product that is my top 3 of the Elcies. Well, let me actually just tell you my top 3 right now. If there was only 3 products that you could get from Elcie, my opinion, the foundation, the Velvet Sponge, and this next product, and this is the pressed setting powder. So this is one of mine right here. You could see it is well loved. I've hit pan on it. I have the shade medium, and I actually already have my backup, so I'll show you what it looks like, relatively brand new. So I love that it has the marbling of the multiple colors. This will work year round for you, depending on if you tan or not. If you are more tan in the summer, you can dip your brush a little bit more on this side, or if you're lighter in the winter months, on this side. I usually just take a fluffy brush and swirl through the whole thing and dust it over. For this powder, you do get the little velour puff with it. I don't usually use those unless I'm on the go or not at home, but I like to use a fluffier brush that's not too fluffy that it's flimsy. This one is a bit more dense than your typical fluffy brush. It's an Eco Tools full powder brush. I don't know the number exactly. And so what I'll do is I'll just kind of go through the whole compact, just kind of move it around on my brush. And you can see it on there, and I'll go through and I'll press and pat my entire face with this. And you're not gonna get coverage out of this. Well, you'll get a little bit, but not a whole lot, so keep that in mind. If you're looking for a powder that has coverage, this is not the powder for that. I also, you'll see this brush is more tapered towards the middle, so I'll stamp right in and then get the sides of my nose to really set my foundation. And you can see it helped mattify everything, but I don't look dry. I don't look cakey. It still looks like skin. And that's something that I really enjoy out of these products. I mean, clearly I've gone through one of these already. Same with the foundation. I've gone through multiple of the sponges. You guys get the gist. So about this point in my makeup, I like to go ahead and apply a setting spray to help melt everything together before I go in with the rest of my powder products. We are going to be using the Elcie Hydra Enhancer Alkaline Facial Mist, which is infused with jasmine. Again, you get the glass frosted bottle. You've got the spouts, the beautiful gold trimming here. And with this guy, you want to make sure you're not spraying like super close because you will get those globules. So put it at a good distance. I will say with this bottle, it is gorgeous, but is not my favorite to travel with. I had an occasion while traveling, again, like I mentioned, I never put my makeup products in my check bag. It's always going along with me, and somehow this part right here unscrewed and it spilled out everywhere. So travel, not my favorite, so just keep that in mind. Right, and next we're gonna go in with highlight. As you guys know, I prefer to apply my highlight before I go in with my blush. So we have two different highlighter options in the Elcie lines. The first one, and the one that I find myself using the most, is the Skin Reflector highlight, and I have the shade Golden Haze. This is the outer packaging, so you have this beautiful mirrored gold packaging, and on the inside you have a mirror, and this is the product. So it goes from light to dark, and I really do enjoy that about this product because you can tailor it depending on skin tone. Again, if you're using this in your makeup artist kit, this can work for a variety of skin tones depending on where you dip the brush. I usually dip it more into the middle, a little bit on this darkest shade depending on how tanned I am. So I'll give you guys a swatch, and I just kind of went through the whole thing, and you can see you got that beautiful glow. This one is not necessarily like a blinding highlight. It's more of a, I don't want to say subtle because it's still so beautiful, but it's more of that glow from within versus that blinding see me from space kind of highlight. And the second one I have, this is the Eclipse highlighter, and I have the shade Luna. And this is more of a pink base highlighter. This one is definitely more of a blinding highlight, so if you enjoy that, you'll likely enjoy the Eclipse highlighters. Mine is pretty beat up, so and I can't hold it up too far because it'll literally fall out of the pan. So you can see mine right there. We actually had an accident with this one. It fell as I was trying to open it, and the whole thing just kind of fell out, but I saved it. So let me do a little swatch on my finger for you guys. So there you see, you can see how much more blinding it is. Let me swatch the Skin Reflector on this finger so you guys can see the difference. So you can see the Eclipse, definitely more of a blinding highlight versus the Skin Reflector. So depending on your preference. Let's actually go in with Luna. I haven't used this one in a while, so I'm gonna take it on a Real Techniques brush right here and the high points. And this Eclipse highlighter is more of a baked formula, so keep that in mind. So here we go. See that really beautiful glow? And when I look straight on, you see no cast or grayness. And right when you turn, so let's go ahead and do the other side. A little bit on the bridge of the nose and the tip of the nose. I'm actually gonna layer some of the Skin Reflector on top. Let's move on to eyeshadow. Okay, so eyeshadow, another thing that I do enjoy about Elcie Cosmetics, their product releases are very thought out, in my opinion, and not super often. So they don't have a lot of releases, but I feel like that contributes to just the quality of these products. They spend more time developing the products and working on the quality to make sure they're putting out a really good product versus just pumping out collections for the sake of pumping out collections. So their OG kind of staple palette is the Minimalist eyeshadow palette, this guy right here. And it comes with a mirror on the inside and these 5 shades. These are all matte shades, and these are kind of your classic anywhere, any day to night shades that you can use. If you're really in a pinch, you can also use this for complexion. So you can use like this shade right here for contour, this for blush, or even this one for blush or bronzer. So it's a really versatile palette. And the other palette they have is also called the Minimalist, but this is the Mauve series. So same concept, 5 matte shades, but these are all mauve purple shades. So you get really beautiful, and you guys know purple is my favorite color. I love purple eyeshadows. A major plus with this palette right here is it has no carmine. So I got some purple shades that I don't have to worry about putting on my eyes. The original Minimalist palette, the website says may contain carmine, but I'm not sure exactly which shade it is or if all of them do. I can't remember when I used it, if it irritated my eyes or not. And if you're new here, I have a carmine allergy and I can't use it. If I had to guess, I would say it's most likely the shade right here that has carmine, but I really don't want to risk it. So I have sent them an email just to clarify which shade exactly has carmine in it. So for today's video, we're going to be using the mauves. So I'm going to go ahead and create a quick look and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so here's the look I created using the palette. I went ahead and used all 5 of the shades. I went in with this shade right here as my transition, the main transition shade, blended it out with this lighter pink, and then went in with this shade right here to deepen up the outer crease, and then used the lightest shade all over my lid, and finally the deepest shade as a shadow liner. I really love how beautiful, subtle, what like an edge that you can get out of it. They blend beautifully. Actually, let me do a couple of swatches for you guys. So here we have the lightest shade, that kind of cream white. It has like a pink undertone, so obviously with the Mauve series, I mean, that's what you're expecting. The next pinky shade, there it is right there. Look how pigmented that is. Kind of going in order of depth here. This is the shade that I used to deepen the outer crease. Sorry, this is the shade that I used as my transition. You can obviously see that you can build it up if you want it that deep. And then the shade that I used to deepen that outer crease and corner. And then last but not least, the shade that I used as a liner. I'm actually going to swatch it right over here. Look at that, super pigmented. So really love the shades in this. And for mascara, Elcie has a really popular mascara that has been sold out for months. It is one of their top sellers. I actually had it, but I used it up, and because it's been sold out, I obviously don't have another one. So I'm gonna be using a different mascara. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back with the rest of the products. And side note, no fallout. So as you guys, obviously I did my entire base before doing my eyeshadow, and I have absolutely no fallout. Moving on, we have blush from Elcie Cosmetics, and they have 2 shades of blush, Pink Flamingo and Coral Reef, and this was part of their summer collection last summer, I think. So this is mine right here. You can tell it is well loved. Let's go ahead and apply some of that. And this is kind of a theme of theirs with the, like, not marbling necessarily, but the strips of different colors, so you can get a variety. So this can work for a variety of skin tones. You can focus it in the middle if you're going for more of a nude, kind of neutral, or on the sides if you want a little more pink. I usually just go all over. So there we have the blush in the shade Coral Reef. And last but not least, we have lip products. So they do have multiple lip product items. They have lip balms, lip liners, lipsticks, like bullet lipsticks, and these lip chubby sticks. I have one of their lipstick shades, which I think might not go with this look, and the matching lip liner, and also these chubby sticks. So these chubby sticks, they're called the Elcie Natural Pout Lipstick Pencil, and these were released with the summer collection with the blush. The two shades that I have is Starfish, which is this kind of orangey shade. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I'll go ahead and do a swatch for you guys. So that is Starfish. I think they have a total of 4 of these colors. And the second shade I have is Seashore, which I think out of the two is my favorite, just because I don't tend to wear like super bright lip colors. So that is the shade Seashore. It's more of a taupey nude. Their lipstick, so this is the component, the black with the rose gold logo. These are made in Italy, and I have the shade, like I said, Wine. So it's this really rich, vampy shade. Let's see, where are we gonna swatch this guy? Okay, so that is Wine. Actually a really stunning color. Like I said, this really rich, vampy burgundy berry wine shade. I think that is such an appropriate name for this. And the matching lip liner in the shade Berry. So this is it right here. Okay, so we have it swatched right under Wine, so you can see it is quite a bit deeper. I think for today with this eye look, I think I'm gonna go in with Seashore. Unfortunately, the Berry pencil is not gonna work with this shade, so I'm gonna grab a different lip liner to use, and then we'll come back with the application. Yeah, that Seashore shade on its own for me is just a little too taupe, so I definitely need a lip liner. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in the center. And tap it out with my finger. So there we have it. I think this lip goes really well with the eye look. It gave you a good idea of how the products apply. I will leave their website in the description box below if you wanted to check them out. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard about Elcie anywhere else aside from on my channel or my Instagram. I'm interested to hear how many other people are talking about them. If you are interested in trying out or picking up anything from Elcie, like I said, they are available at Ulta, not their entire line, but a good chunk of their products, and otherwise on their website. I am also going to leave a referral link in the description box below. You can get $5 off of your order on elcie.com. It is not an affiliate link. Anybody who signs up to be part of their rewards program has access to a link like that. So it is there if you choose to use it. Let's get these earrings back on for the completed look. Thank you for spending time out of your day with me today. Welcome back to my channel. I know I had been a couple of weeks without uploading, but I'm happy to be back. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.